Yes. Still Color back in the building. Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's all right. Me and Kev were back again, and you know that when me and Kay link up, it's another episode of If We Had to Pick. I think this is episode 6 now, Kay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's episode 6, and yeah, as per usual, we've got a real special episode in store for you guys. For two of me and Kev's favorite artists of all time, I would say. Um, Personally, I feel like these two artists are in my top 10. I don't know about you, Kevin.
Yeah. One for sure is in top 10. The other one probably top 20 and top 15. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, but they're pretty high up on the list.
For sure.
These are two legendary artists, man, and obviously the term legendary gets thrown on a lot of it gets thrown on a lot of artists easily, but for sure these two artists are legendary.
Certified,
And they're two of the greatest artists of all time in any genre.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So obviously the two albums that we're going to be talking about today is Lauryn Hill's first album, her debut album, the one that broke all sorts of records. I'm talking about the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking also about and pitting up against D'Angelo's sophomore album, Voodoo.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, again, along with Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo being two of the greatest artists of all time, I feel like these two projects are two of the greatest albums of all time as well.
Yeah.
They're both on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest album list, and rightly so. But yeah, like before we get into the proceedings, Kay, I mean, what did these two albums mean to you personally?
Good, superb question. I think a lot, man. I think these albums are albums more certainly that have had the most replay value of many albums that I really like. And it's quite interesting, especially with Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I mean, obviously we all were there when the singles had huge replay value or were playing on the radio or on MTV. And even years after when they were initially released, like in the mid 2000s as well, some of her records were playing. Well, with D'Angelo, the unfortunate experience that I had with early D'Angelo was just How Does It Feel? That's the only record. So I think I'm not sure if he did release, I think he did release other sort of singles during that period of time, but that was the big single that got loads of replay values, also in the mid 2000s. But the records like Devil's Power, Left and Right, and Send It On, and Feel Like Making Love, I had no clue of those records. So I was more exposed of Lauryn Hill, which I think most people were anyway. So it was quite unfortunate because as the years have gone on and I've kind of had to go back and check out D'Angelo, I realized like, yo, this guy he was operating also at a seriously high playing field like Lauryn Hill. What about you? What do these albums and tapes mean to you?
I feel like, my sort of explanation is going to be similar to yours, where it's like I had a lot of exposure of Lauryn Hill back in those days, and also because of the work she did in the Fugees.
Oh yeah, of course. Fugees had a huge spin as well, man. What's the name of the album that they released? The Score. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Obviously, Killing Me Softly. I mean, you couldn't.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's like I was exposed to Lauryn Hill very early, whereas with D'Angelo, similar to you, the only really song I was exposed to him for was Untitled.
Yeah.
Because of the iconic video, that accompanied the single. But that was really it. Like I didn't really hear about any other D'Angelo tunes or see it.
Yeah.
So I caught into D'Angelo really late. But it was pretty unfortunate because and D'Angelo was absolutely doing bits back in those days.
Sure.
So obviously again my experience is similar to yours, but both of these two albums, man, they mean so much to me. I've got both of them on vinyl, so like they're just two of the greatest albums of all time, period. Obviously, Kay, getting into the proceedings now. If you guys have listened to have watched the show already, or seen our previous episodes, we talk about 4 main categories. and those categories are the buzz, the sonics, the cultural impact, and the replay value. So as per usual, we're gonna start with the buzz case. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but D'Angelo's Voodoo came out in 2000, right?
Yeah.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out in 1998.
Yeah.
So obviously 2 years apart from each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously back then, me and you weren't really immersed in that type of music, in that sort of neo soul kind of funk.
What we mean from D'Angelo's perspective or Lauryn Hill's perspective?
Yeah, like, I'm just talking about from this perspective of both Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo. Were you kind of, you know, immersed in that sort of neo soul?
I would say not deeply, no, but I will still say that we both, obviously because of how much exposure with record like Killing Me Softly and also Lauryn Hill's what's it called?
Do up that thing.
Yeah, do up that thing. Those singles. I think we both. I'm not sure if I'm speaking from your experience, but from my experience, certainly sure those were my first neo soul exposure, and those are first neo soul record I like. But yes, it was not like
deeply immersed.
Yeah. It's not like hip hop. It wasn't until like I got older, then I went back. But then also because in 2009, Maxwell released what's it called?
Black Summer's Night.
And that's an album that I really love. So through going back through that period of time, I got to see some other neo soul artists and what they had released during that period of time. And then I got deeper into it. So I would say that's the journey really.
Same. So with that being said, you know, during that time, during probably what 98 to 2000 to 2001, when both of these albums got released.
Yeah.
What would you say? I know it's hard now because me and you both weren't immersed in that time.
Yeah.
But what would you say? What album would you say had the bigger buzz?
I mean, for sure, it's the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I don't think it's even a comparison, and the simple reason why the score, I believe, went diamond. Like he had tremendous amount of hits, man. Like he had tremendous amount of hits, and also, you know, the relationship with Wyclef and the fallout from that as well. So 100% the buzz for this album was huge, and we can also see about the singles that came out as well. Oh, let me just, I think, was it Do Up That Thing that came out as the first single? Let me check, make sure that. Yeah, Do Up That Thing was the first single as well, and I'm certainly sure that did extraordinary well on the chart as well. It charted all around the world, and it went number 1 in America as well, and I think that was in '98, I believe. So yeah, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill 100% had the bigger buzz. With D'Angelo, he had released Brown Sugar, and Brown Sugar did extremely well. That came out, was it '95, wasn't it? '95,
yeah, I think.
Yeah. And I believe that went 2 times platinum as well. So it had done extraordinary very well. But I think he had that lull period of 5 years where he really wasn't in the public eye, really doing anything much, even collaborating with artists.
That's very true.
Before releasing Voodoo. However, the anticipation was still quite strong, and that's the reason why his first week sales was around 200K, while with Lauryn Hill was around 400 something K. So yeah, for me, this is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, same here, bro. I mean, this definitely goes to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill because, like you said, like we've mentioned before, you know, the stuff that she did with the Fugees. You know what I mean? Like Lauryn Hill was on top of her game. I mean, I don't know where Killing Me Softly charted in the US and the UK, but I'm pretty sure
definitely number one. Definitely number one. Multiple.
And I remember I used to hear that. This is one of my early memories in it of that time.
Yeah.
Is like me hearing that on the radio constantly.
Yeah, that was rinsed out. Well, let me check. Look, it went number 1 all around the world, across Europe.
There you go.
All around the world in the UK. I mean, look, it apparently went 3 times platinum in the United States. That's what Wiki are saying. That was a massive single, man. Like, like you're saying, I remember it on even like years after. So this song was released '96. I remember like in the 90s, like late 90s, even the early 2000s, this song still having constant rotation on MTV, fam. Like this song was
Even to this day, you know what I'm saying?
But
Even today, yeah, this song is played a lot, and Ready or Not as well. One of the other singles.
yeah. Ready or Not was huge as well. Yeah,
Yeah, it was huge as well. So yeah, they had like, you know, two back-to-back hits. And obviously they had other songs that came out, but those are the two main ones. And yeah, like you just couldn't escape hearing Killing Me Softly or Ready or Not. And
Yeah.
yeah, like so I think just before Lauryn Hill was about to drop Miseducation, like there was a huge buzz. There was
Yeah,
a huge
100%, 100%,
Honestly,
100%.
rightly so. Yeah, yeah, and rightly so. And I feel like you said something about D'Angelo Voodoo, which was which was a great point actually. When D'Angelo released Brown Sugar back in '95, he took like a 5-year break. You
Yeah.
know, so he wasn't in the public eye. Whereas Lauryn Hill, she was in the public eye. You know,
Yeah.
she was in the public eye, like she was, you know, she was selling millions of records with the Fugees. So, like, I feel like not that people forgot about D'Angelo, but obviously he went under the radar after he
Yeah, I feel like looking at the first week sale, I still feel like he did extremely well.
he did extremely well, but yeah, I'm just
but not like Lauryn Hill well for sure.
yeah. Because think about it, as soon as Miseducation dropped, yeah, like you told me that in America it sold what 400 something copies in the first.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
For
That's a lot.
for a female rap
Mhm.
artist to sell that much back in those days, that's
Yeah.
historic. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
story. Like female artists of today are not even doing those numbers, bro.
Yeah, for
Do you know
sure.
what I mean?
I think the last
They're
one
not
probably
doing
was Nicki Minaj, you know. Well, I mean,
it.
in terms of like black female artists,
Yeah,
Nicki Minaj is
first, yeah, black female artists, yeah, female rappers. They're not doing
Nicki,
numbers,
yeah.
bro. They're not doing those numbers. Even I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Nicki's ever done that much in the first week before. I don't think she has.
I think I wouldn't be so. Ooh, that's a good question.
I truly don't think she has. I truly don't think she has.
Yeah,
You know,
I think probably minimum 200K for sure.
yeah, minimum. But I'm talking about like 400.
400, yeah, 400, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at it now, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, I don't think she's done it. I don't think she's done it. So that just goes to show you the monumental achievement, you know, the monumental sort of achievement that obviously the Miseducation had by selling that much back in those days. And I think obviously as well, the Miseducation won how many Grammys? Like 5 or 6 in one night.
I think it did some Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah, it did like 5 or 6 on one night. So that just goes to show you like the buzz. Like Lauryn Hill was very much the person that was like the female, not even just, I don't even disrespect and say like rapper in it. In terms of artists, yeah, she was up there during that time when Britney, Christina Aguilera were coming up.
Yeah, Mariah Carey, all of that.
Mariah Carey, Madonna, Lauryn Hill was there with them. Don't get it twisted.
1%.
Tony Braxton as well. Like Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, there was loads of female artists as well. Even what's the Mary J. Blige as well was doing very
Mary J. Blige as well.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill was definitely in that top tier bracket. Not just female, but artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I just saw the sales for Nicki Minaj, and you're right. The highest Nicki Minaj has ever done was 375, which is fantastic itself. Obviously, it's not.
It's fantastic as well. Yeah, it's not
Lauryn
Lauryn Hill. Yeah. It's not Lauryn Hill. So yeah, that just goes to show you, man. Like Lauryn Hill was absolutely massive, and the buzz for her back in the day was just, you know, and it wasn't just, think about it. It wasn't just in America. It was
it was all around the world.
All around the world. With D'Angelo, like I'm pretty sure, yeah, that it was just really in America that.
Well, I mean, that's not even. You know, that's a correct statement, and I think it did very well, definitely in Europe.
It did 100%, 100%.
It was mostly like it was heavy in America for sure. I don't think that's even an overstatement.
100%. So yeah, for me, Lauryn Hill wins this one hands down. It's not even close, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, to the Sonics.
Yeah.
Of both of these two albums. Obviously, they both of them are sort of similar in the sense of
but with different results. Like different results.
Yeah, but with different results. Obviously, they both draw from that neo soul element.
Yeah.
So I mean, just in terms of the listening experience for you on both albums, I mean, like, how did these two albums differ, if they do differ, and how are they similar?
It's an interesting question.
And again, what was your overall experience of both of these albums?
I think these albums are very similar, but also very different. There's similarity in the sense that they draw from a pool from like soul music of the yesteryear, old soul music. So we're talking about 60s and 70s. You know, were loads of great soul artists that came before Isaac Hayes, obviously Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield. It draws from that similar pool as well. But with Lauryn Hill, she looks like more like doo-wop, which was like old school, like 60s R&B type of style music as well. And that's also, you can hear it on the doo-wop thing. But she mixes it up with hip hop. But that's also what D'Angelo does that with Voodoo. There's like left and right. Well, not
left and right, yeah.
Or like there was
with Method Man and
yeah. But I think the best example is left and right. Like sorry. So the best example is Devil's Pie. Like that was produced by DJ Premier as well. You can hear the scratches, but the aesthetics that D'Angelo obviously went from, we can hear it, listen to the album, it's just a much darker aesthetics, isn't it? But I will say the only difference is D'Angelo also pulls on from that rich soul heritage. One of the big influences on one of the records that he did was Al Green. So the only difference that I will say is that D'Angelo doesn't use doo-wop. Like that's the like I don't think he uses like 1960s doo-wop R&B. While with Lauryn Hill, she does. I think that's the sort of different sonic influences that they both pull from. But as a listening experience, I think for me, Voodoo is a more cohesive one than Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. And the reason why I'm saying that is because on the Miseducation, there's certain records that I think at least there's one song that I'm not fond of. And I think it's When It Hurts So Bad. But again, the record completely makes sense because what big theme about the album is about love. Do you get me? It's about heartbreak. Do you get me? And that song, from my own understanding, because again, I don't like that song that much and I haven't listened to it that much. But I think the theme of it is about heartbreak and, you know, when the pain is quite a lot. So that's one of the records I didn't like. I didn't like Superstar as well. I can't necessarily remember it that much. But other than that, I still think it has arguably some of the greatest record any artist could ever make in their entire career. And that's record like To Zion, which is a beautiful song about her son who's sort of being born, and also a record like Tell Him, which is almost like a religious song, like as if she's speaking to God as well. Like these really deep themes, but also she's making it very heartful and also, you know, it's basically soul music. What someone would say is actually soul music. It's a bit like Marvin Gaye's what's going on? Yes, What's Going On? It's literally that same level of depth and theme and sort of reverence for God, and that's what makes this album so powerful. But that's also the same thing with D'Angelo's Voodoo, and that comes with the record like what's it called? Send
It On.
Sorry.
Send It On. I was gonna say.
I
was gonna say Send It On and Tell Him are very similar records. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think
they're both speaking to God. They're both essentially speaking to God and drawing from those experiences. Do you know what I mean? That.
But instead of sending. I think sending on in terms of speaking to a person and telling them how much you revere them and how much you love them. I think for me the best one is Africa, because Africa is basically actually directly similar to Zion. So on Africa, D'Angelo is basically talking about his firstborn son and the blood of Christ and his firstborn son being blessed by the blood of Christ. You get me? So the whole religious element. So those albums in terms of themes for sure and in terms of influences for sure draw upon from similar sources. But yeah. We're gonna get into obviously Voodoo and some of the great records that I think of, but that's some of the similarities and the differences I will say. I don't want to keep on going on because I want to also hear your.
No, bro. I again, like, I feel the same way. I feel like both of these albums are definitely more similar than they are. Like they both have more similarities to them than differences. If that makes sense. Like they both draw from the same experiences. Like obviously, there's a couple of records where Giando's talking about love. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite records that he did, which I think he covered actually. There was an original to it.
You mean the Roberta Flack record? Feel Like Making Love.
Yeah, Feel Like Making Love. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Before you go, can I say one thing?
Go on.
See, this is why, I've always have this guy in my top 4, maybe top 3 favorite artists. because he's covering Roberta Flack record. Like it's similar, but what he does, yeah, Roberta Flack couldn't even do it. And that's for me what makes me love D'Angelo and also understand how scary it is. Like he's able to make someone's record much better than them. And there's also another record that he did, which is called Send It On. Yeah, Send It On.
That's one of my favorite records of all time.
For me, he's channeling Al Green. But I always say Al Green, and I love Al Green. Al Green is in my top 20 as well. I think Al Green is amazing. But even as I'm saying, Al Green couldn't even make this song. And that's what makes, for me, D'Angelo so scary. And that's what makes Voodoo, for me, one of the greatest albums, because you think that any soul artist from the past could have made it, but no. And then that's what makes him so scary. And that's also, we're going to make, Anderson .Paak and the Bruno Mars review, and it ties in. That's why I also dislike Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, is because for me, if you're gonna make something, it has to be as good or even better than what people did before. It can't be a repeat. It can't be a repeat, because then I must just go back and hear it. But with D'Angelo, he's firmly stamping there and he's saying, look, fam, I am even better than some of you niggas, fam. Do you get me, fam? And you know it's true. And that's why that album, the album for me is undefeated, man. And it's crazy. But yeah, go on, sorry.
No, 100%. That's what different. I can't even say the word yet, but that's what makes D'Angelo different. Because even at the time, bro, that D'Angelo came out with Voodoo, who was making the same type of quality of music? In the neo soul lane than D'Angelo. I mean, you got Erykah Badu.
You had I think you had Maxwell as well. You
had Maxwell as well, yeah, of course. But then it's like
they were different, yeah.
They're different, yeah. And obviously, if you had to put me on the spot and tell me which artist would I pick out of Maxwell and D'Angelo?
Of course, it's D'Angelo, of course, right? I mean, it's not controversial.
Maxwell
is very good. Maxwell is very good.
Great artist.
Let me add on. I think Maxwell is more influenced by like Sade, fam. Do you get me? It's not like by Sade. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Sade as well. Like Sade is a great record. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't put Sade up against, let's say, Marvin Gaye. But I could argue, and I think I will be right. I can say that D'Angelo is definitely a better musician and a producer than even Marvin Gaye, fam. D'Angelo is this, like, he is scarily good. Do you get me? Like, he's scarily good. Good. Go on, sorry.
So it's like, like, again, even though Maxwell's a great artist, I wouldn't even hesitate to pick.
Yeah, for sure.
And Maxwell, against any other probably neo soul artist, Maxwell wins. Maxwell wins it for me. Or Maxwell.
Or even above Erykah. Ooh, did I put him above Erykah?
No. Do you know it's Mel?
Oh, Mel. Okay. Yeah, of course. I think that.
Yeah. Apart from
I think Bilal. I think Bilal has the better voice though. Bilal
has the better voice. Yeah. Bilal.
I don't know.
Bilal. Actually. We need to pivot.
Yeah, we need to. We don't know, because Maxwell's voice is incredible as well, man.
Yeah. But but listen, like Maxwell, any other, you know what I mean, Mel.
Yeah, for sure. Like even general artists as well. Like I put general artists as well. A lot of people, fam.
There you go. But D'Angelo is just he's something different. So
he's just
I think, bro. You know how I feel about Voodoo. For me, Voodoo is an absolute classic. But
you like Brown Sugar more. You like Brown Sugar more.
Yeah. I like Brown Sugar more, innit?
Yeah.
For this my own personal reasons, but. Yeah, like I've like honestly, the listening experience for me on Voodoo is very, very pleasant, bro. Like I can literally play the album from back to front. I was listening to it literally before we filmed this, in it. I just literally put in the background, and I was just like, right, like even a record like there was initially a couple of records that I thought were
Well, and Spanish joints.
These were for example, I always love Spanish joint, innit? I always love Spanish joint, but I feel like for me, The Root was one of the ones that didn't really F with. But, okay, I can't lie, The Root is one of the best songs on this tape, lad. My God.
Hold on, is that the record with... Yeah, that's the record that start with the bass line, innit, fam?
Yeah, bruv. I was like, my days. Bruv.
It's understandable, you get me? And I share your sentiments, because for me, it takes time to get into Voodoo, but once you get into it, especially a record with the bass line is just stupid, then D'Angelo's lyricism is, oh my god, like oh my god. And literally, he's talking about literally like, heartbreak. Like she's literally affected him, fam. Do you get me? Like she's literally destroyed him. This heartbreak has destroyed him. Do you get me? And that's essentially what the Voodoo is about, bro. But yeah, go on. You were naming other records that you would.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and then so obviously that was one of the records that I initially didn't like. Lord have mercy, bro. Obviously with my mature yeah, I was like, yo, bro, I was absolutely tapped. How can I not like, bro? But yeah, this is one of the best records on here, innit?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I think obviously Chicken Grease as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But I love Now and then The Line as well. The
line is hard as well. The line
is hard as well. And even, bro, you even be surprised to hear this Africa. I wasn't feeling Africa at the start.
Okay, nice, understandable.
Yeah. But now, like I said, not only do I fuck with the actual track, like obviously the message behind the track.
Bro, it's a beautiful song with a beautiful message.
It's a beautiful song. It's definitely a beautiful song. Again, like it reminds me of a couple of the records on Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Forgive them, Father. You know what I'm saying?
Forgive them,
Yeah. It reminds me of records like that, innit? So yeah, I mean, these two albums are very, very similar to each other.
Yeah. There's very similar. The only difference is Voodoo is obviously it has much more darker spirit in terms of some of the songs, but also it's got extremely bright spirit. While with Miseducation,
it's mainly about love. Yeah, it's mainly about love.
Voodoo is also hugely about love as well. I mean, both of the albums are very similar. The more I think about it now, and even when we're drawing up on which album we're supposed to pick as well, like I kind of knew that they were similar, but now thinking about it, I realized how much more similar that they are.
They are because initially, we were saying, like they differ from each other quite a bit, but then actually now thinking about it, they're very similar.
Yeah,
they're more similar than they are different, 100%. Yeah, and again, I mean, similar with Voodoo. I feel like not even similar with Voodoo, but I feel like I was more, the listening experience for me on Miseducation was more, in my opinion, was more cohesive, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you think Miseducation is more cohesive than Voodoo?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
For me personally.
Okay. So do you like all the records of Miseducation?
Pretty much, okay. I can't even lie.
Cool.
Pretty much. And it's the same with Voodoo as well. Like again, before I didn't with Voodoo, there was two records that I didn't really F with. But now, okay, like I F with every single song. So for me, it's even hard, isn't it? Again, it just comes down to preference. But yeah, I just feel like the listening experience for me was a lot easier on Miseducation than it was on Voodoo.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Maybe even you said that. Sometimes it takes a while, like with Voodoo, innit? It takes a while to get into it, innit? Do you get what I mean? So yeah, but with Miseducation, I got into it straight away. And
so you like all of the songs on Miseducation?
Yeah, bro. Like I generally like all of the songs on Miseducation.
Do you like Final Hour?
I love Final Hour, bro.
Yeah, Super. So you like Final Hour, Superstar, and
yeah.
Every Ghetto, Every City.
Ghetto, Every City. Yeah, bro. I love Ghetto, Every City as well, bro.
Yeah, I think those are the records I didn't add onto my playlist. I was not really feeling it.
Final Hour for me, that's just Lauryn Hill at her best, innit? Where she's singing and rapping, you know what I mean? Like obviously she combines the singing and rapping in quite a few of the tracks on this album, innit? And I mean that's what I love about Lauryn Hill. Like Lauryn Hill can do both at an extremely high level.
Yeah, for sure.
Understand? And that's very rare for an artist to be able to do that. People nowadays are telling me, oh yeah, Drake, he can sing, he can rap. Yeah, he can rap. Yeah. And he can sing to a certain extent. But obviously, he's a much better rapper than he is a singer.
Yeah.
I remember when people used to tell me, "Oh yeah, but Drake, he can sing, he can rap, he can do it." And I was like, "Bro, do you know about Lauryn Hill?"
Yeah, for sure.
You know about Lauryn Hill. Come listen to Lauryn Hill and come back and tell me that and keep that same energy with Drake. Because like I said, yeah, Drake can rap extremely well, but he can't sing as well as he can rap. Lauryn Hill can do both. And not only can she do both, she can do it at an extremely high level.
Yeah,
And she,
yeah. I
yeah,
feel like go on, sorry, go on.
I say, and she executes that on to perfection on a couple of the records on here, like Do Up, that thing.
What that thing is, Bob, it's like,
bro,
the thing is about her, yeah, it's just, bruv, it's so hip hop, but it's so soulful as well. Do you get me? Like she's able, like on this album, she's able to get that difficult duality between adding hip hop element and that be ad libs on the record. Do you get me? Or like perfectly sequence into a nice verse where she's spitting, but at the same time, she's also able to add great, choruses, sing very well on the record. So she's able to add all of these different elements that are largely the time when some artists do it, you feel like, oh yeah, here is he about to rap. Do you get me? With her, it's all of a cohesive thing, and Do Up the Thing is a great example of that.
Facts, bro, facts. And again, I know you don't like it too much, but Final Hour as well. I think she does it great on Final Hour.
For sure.
And Lost One again.
Yeah, Lost One's hard. Lost One's hard.
One of my favorite records on here. But yeah, do you know what, Kate? For you not to like a couple of the records on here, I understand, and especially the ones that you don't like. I understand why you may not like them too much. I do understand it. But yeah, I just think like even the bonus track in it.
But the bonus tracks are amazing. Can't Take My Eyes Off You is incredible, bro.
It's an incredible song.
And then Tell Him as well. But both, I think Tell Him should not have been a hidden track, man. I think
it shouldn't have been a hidden track. It should have been in the actual track.
Bro, I can't lie. For me, I think that is the best song on the album. I think that.
Yeah, 100.
Tell him is like those songs. You know, it's like, oh yeah, if someone brought a church hymn, if someone brought Tell Him, you're like, bro, what the fuck? Like, it's that level of songwriting where you like, yo, like only one of ones can do that. Do you get me? Only one of ones can really pull off such a level of high songwriting. And Can't Take My Eyes Off You is incredible as well. And again, it's so hip hop, but yet it's so soulful at the same time. She's on the album. I can't lie, man. She was balling. You know how Steph Curry is balling right now, fam.
But Steph Curry, yeah. She was balling back in those days. Coming off the Fuji Score album and then just absolutely creating a masterpiece. Do you know what I mean? Back to back. So yeah, man, shout out to them.